All right, we will be, am I on the right one? Oh, now okay, because yeah, yeah. So we ready? Okay, all right. Before we begin the meeting today, I would like everybody to, when we do our moment of silence for the seventh soldier who has passed away. So good morning. I will now call the meeting to order of the Board of Supervisors for March 10th, 2026. Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Supervisor James. Supervisor Williams. Here. Supervisor Mashburn. And Chair Brown.
Here.
And Supervisor Vasquez has an excused absence.
So please stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance, and we will stand for a moment of silence. Ready, begin. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. Thank you. All right, Madam Clerk, have there been any cards submitted, or are there any callers on the line that wish to speak on the item?
No, ma'am. I have no cards submitted for this item, and I have no callers on the line.
All right. So,
Sorry.
no, that's fine.
Adopt and present a resolution recognizing March 2026 as Social Work Month in Solano County. Do I have a motion?
Second.
So ordered by a vote of 4-0.
Good morning. Today, I get the honor of presenting a resolution on the behalf of the Board of Supervisors, recognizing the month of March 2026 as Social Work Month in Solano County, and am able to be joined by some of our county's best. I'm not going to read all because I'm going to leave space and time for those who are doing the work in our communities. So whereas March is designated nationwide as Social Work Month and remains a significant opportunity to acknowledge Solano County's social workers for their invaluable contribution in helping individuals, families, children, and the elderly in need of care and protection. And whereas social workers follow a code of ethics that calls on them to stand for equity in every community, uphold human dignity, and fight for injustice. And we have social workers in child welfare services, in older and disabled adult services, in employment and eligibility services, and in public health, in probation, and the public defender's office. Social workers provide a 24-hour safety net for the protection of children, people with disabilities, and the elderly, and provide services designed to improve and stabilize the lives of their clients. And whereas this year's social work theme, Social Work Uplift, Defend, Transform, celebrates the powerful behind-the-scenes role social workers play every day, connecting people, systems, and solutions. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Solano County Board of Supervisors hereby recognizes the month of March 2026 as Social Work Month in Solano County, and to commend the work of these dedicated county employees in their performance of their duties and assignments.
Good morning. I am Neely Carpenter, and I'm the Deputy Director for Child Welfare Services, and it's my pleasure to introduce 3 of our over 150 social workers in Solano County. They are going to speak on behalf of our county, and that's Amy Seaborn, Jessica Bennett Roberts, and Paolo Dingenson. So thank you.
Hello, my name is Amy Seaborn. I work for Solano County Child Welfare Services. I'm a part of the Family Services section where I help parents reunify with their children. I also do a lot of standby work with our emergency response unit where I will go out and investigate child abuse and neglect, oftentimes at night, unarmed. With that being said, I would like to highlight the part of our theme on defending. So, as social workers, we encounter many field hazards. Verbal abuse, about 37% of our social workers are victims of verbal assaults and threats, excuse me. Psychological aggression as well, 62% of social workers deal with this within a year. 85% experience it at some time while working. Physical assaults by clients, about 14% of us face this within a year, while 30% face it during our entire career. We deal with unsafe work behaviors. We witness workplace violence. These are things that we deal with: the workplace violence, field hazards, aggressive clients, burnout, vicarious trauma, moral distress. We do this often, going into homes in unsafe neighborhoods with our clipboards and our pens. And we know the risks, we know the dangers, and we go out and we do it anyway because we value the lives of children, we value the lives of families. It is our desire that they live in safe and healthy environments. And thank you for your time.
Sorry, I have my big purse. Okay. Good morning, Board of Supervisors. My name is Jessica Bennett Roberts, and I provide case management for our neighbors facing homelessness as a social worker for the Housing Support Program in Employment and Eligibility. In thinking about uplifting, defending, and transforming, these values in action are the heartbeat of my work. I know firsthand, as a former CalWorks recipient here in Solano County, that the first step towards self-sufficiency is feeling seen and heard in a system that often makes you feel invisible. I uplift my clients by acknowledging their dignity and humanity, ensuring that they are the drivers of their own success, and by planting the seed that they can have the life they dream of, despite all the times they've told themselves they couldn't or didn't deserve it. I defend their right to stability with a deep sense of urgency because I know what is at risk when a door remains closed. It is important to mention that many of our current systems, welfare, housing, reentry, every system, are not designed for forward trajectory. They are often built for stagnation, managing the crisis instead of solving the root cause. In a market of sky-high rents and a lack of affordable housing, we work to break that stagnation by building a network of landlords, negotiating one-on-one to bridge the gap between a client's barriers and a home. We transform lives by proving that a crisis doesn't have to be a destination. I'm living proof of that transformation, and I'm honored to lead others towards that same self-sufficiency. Thank you.
Hi, good morning, everyone. My name is Paolo Dingenson, and I'm a social worker for In-Home Supportive Services, or IHSS, under the Older and Disabled Adult Services Division, otherwise known as OTIS. I just want to first start off by saying that I've genuinely caught myself at the end of many work days telling myself that I like what I do. I genuinely like the work that me and my fellow social workers do and the impact we have in the community. IHSS allows those with physical and or mental disabilities the luxury of continuing to reside in their own home, while a caregiver, usually a close family member or a close friend, is able to get compensated for taking care of their needs. But overall, I just want to say that from supportive and dedicated, working with supportive and dedicated staff to making an impact in the community, being a social worker for OTIS, really motivates me to want to be the best social worker I can be. Thank you.
Let's get a picture.
So we're good. All right, Madam Clerk, have there been any cards submitted on this item? Item number 2.
No, ma'am, I have no cards and no callers on the line.
Would you read it, please? Item number 2.
Yes, ma'am. Adopt and present a resolution recognizing March 24th, 2026 as Ag Day in Solano County and March 15th through the 21st, 2026 as Ag Week across the nation. Do I have a motion? So ordered by a vote of 4-0.
Okay.
All right, I got music with me. Love it. All right. Well, it's really, truly an honor to stand before you here today, representing the Board of Supervisors as we acknowledge a heritage here in Solano County, and that's our agriculture. So it's truly a pleasure. So I'm going to read this resolution. Whereas National Agriculture Day is recognized nationwide as a time to celebrate the abundance provided by agriculture, and each year farmers and ranchers, agricultural associations, businesses, educational institutions, government agencies, and community members join to promote and recognize the many contributions of agriculture. And whereas in Solano County and throughout the nation, Ag Day will be celebrated on March 24th, 2026, as part of the National Agricultural Week, providing an opportunity to recognize the value of agriculture and honor the farmers, ranchers whose dedicated help feeds our residents, our nation, and people around the world. And whereas Ag Day and National Agricultural Week offer an opportunity for individuals to gain a deeper understanding of how food, fiber, and other agricultural products are produced while encouraging appreciation for the vital role agriculture plays in sustaining a strong economy and healthy communities. And the first thing I learned from the Farm Bureau was when you go to the grocery store, when you buy food, the first thing to think about is how do you thank a farmer so that it is accessible and easy for us. We take for granted the opportunity to just stroll through the aisles without understanding the hard work and dedication that farmers, ranchers, vintners, and growers actually put in their heart and sweat into the work and taking care of us. And so I'm always grateful for our vintners and growers. Now, going back to the resolution, whereas agriculture encompasses approximately 67% of the land in Solano County, with commodities exported to 41 countries worldwide, contributing more than $460 million annually to the local economy and supporting thousands of jobs in farming, processing, and related industries. And whereas, with its rich agricultural history and remarkable diversity, Ag Day and National Agricultural Week provide an ideal time for residents to learn more about agriculture and to celebrate the farmers and ranchers who are essential to Solano County's heritage, economy, and future. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Solano County Board of Supervisors hereby recognizes March 24th, 2026 as Ag Day in Solano County, and March 15th through the 21st of 2026 as Ag Week across the nation. And at this time, I will ask Miranda Jenkins to come forward and share some words on behalf of the Solano County Farm Bureau.
Thank you so much. Hi, I'm Miranda Jenkins, the Executive Director of Solano County Farm Bureau. We focus on advocacy and education around agriculture in the community and the county. We're grateful for your continued support of agriculture and your recognition of the many individuals who are part of this important industry. Partnerships between local government and the agriculture community are essential to maintaining a strong and vibrant Solano County. On behalf of our members, we would like to extend our sincere thanks to the Solano County Board of Supervisors and Supervisor Williams for recognizing agriculture through your resolution. Your acknowledgement highlights the vital role that agriculture plays in Solano County's economy, environment, and community. By formally recognizing this week, the Board of Supervisors has helped bring attention to the hard work and dedication of farmers, ranchers, and agriculture professionals who help sustain our county, providing food, fiber, and open spaces for our residents. Again, thank you so much for taking the time. Solano County Farm Bureau.
Hi, good morning, Chair Brown, Board, everyone. Ed King, Ag Commissioner. Well, we often tout the diversity of agriculture we have in the county, as Miranda hinted at there, and rightly so. We also put a lot of emphasis on agriculture's contribution to the local economy, and we get a benefit from having access to local foods. And those foods that our farmers and ranchers produce also go out across the country and across the world. But what's most impressive and striking to me is the people, the farmers and ranchers and others like Miranda and Cliff who work in and around local agriculture, and just how much they care about Solano agriculture, and not just about their own operations. They care about the bigger picture and seeing agriculture carry forward and continue into the future, and that's something special. So thank you.
Hello, Board, Chairwoman, Supervisor Williams. My name is Cliff Howard, President of Solano County Farm Bureau. I'd like to say this is the second time I've had the pleasure of standing at this podium in recognition of farming and agriculture. The last time was specific to farm workers, and without them, we certainly couldn't do this. I think that we're at an interesting time in ag. 65-ish% of fruits and nuts that supply our country come from the state of California. California is largely a specialty crop state where our ag is considered specialty. I have the opportunity to meet with our Congressman Thompson tomorrow, and I'd really like to stress that I find it kind of offensive that we say that fruits and nuts, which are part of a healthy, balanced diet, are specialty crops. I think that we need to do more to advocate for the crops that we do provide here in Solano County and California, and make sure that we're not just subsidizing wheat, corn, soybeans, and other crops that are grown in the Midwest, and really focus on the things that we provide in California. So tomorrow I'm going to take that opportunity at a roundtable with them to show the importance of a healthy, balanced diet, and how California really does the best job in the country of supporting that.
Well, at this time, we're going to go forward and take our photo. So I'll give that to you. Thank you.
Twice in 1 month or something like that? That's your haircut. You'll do fine, because he would trust you. He's a good person. Yeah. Yeah, I'm bad. Tell Mike.
Mine, I believe.
It is time for us to take public comment. For those of you who are here in person, please complete a speaker card and submit it to the clerk here on my right. The clerk will call your name. Please come forward to the podium promptly and be ready to speak. For those who are attending the meeting virtually, press *3 to raise your hand to alert the clerk if you wish to speak under public comment. So this is just public comment. The clerk will call out the last 2 digits of your phone number to let you know it is time for you to speak. If you are not present when your name is called, we will move on to the next speaker. So, Madam Clerk, we may begin.
I'm going to apologize if I mess up any last names. Elaine Kuo.
Good morning, Madam Chairperson, and to the board. Thank you for your time. On any other morning, I usually meet with people on the worst day of their lives. My name is Elaine Kuo, and I'm the Deputy District Attorney here at Solano. I meet the parents whose daughter has been killed by but still I meet them. And I've met them here for the last 11 years because I swore an oath. I swore an oath to represent the people of the state of California. I swore an oath to uphold the law, and I swore an oath to hold accountable those who do not. That is a promise made by every member of the district attorney's office. We keep our promise, even through arduous hours of court, even through gut-wrenching conversations with victims, even as we carry the highest caseloads in all of surrounding counties. But 3 years ago, we almost couldn't keep that promise. As our paychecks plunged in relation to everybody else around us, we saw our staffing plunge too. We watched as attorneys in every stage of their career left to commute 20 minutes in the opposite direction to make 20% more and work 20% less. We watched as young attorneys fresh out of law school who could use that 20% towards their student loans left. And who could blame them? We watched as attorneys left so that they could use that 20% to start a family, and who could blame them? We watched as veterans who could use that 20% to see them off into retirement after a lifetime spent in the trenches of trial. And who could blame them? But what that meant for the district attorney's office and for Solano County is that we lost the promising young talent that we had hoped to shape into the career prosecutors here. We lost the trial teams who handle the hundreds of cases that pass through these courtrooms each day. And we lost the wisdom of the most experienced attorneys who had handled all the most serious homicides, sexual assaults, robberies, burglaries. Worst of all, we nearly lost our ability to keep our promise to the people. We can't do that again. Unit 1 cannot go back, and that's why we
Fair
won't
time.
back down.
Thank you.
Next speaker is William Moser.
Good morning. How y'all doing? How's everyone in the crowd doing? Good, good, good. You guys aren't all here for me, I bet, but okay, that's fine. Oh yeah, I'm on the clock. Okay. Supervisors and Madam Chair, thanks for your time. I appreciate it. So my name is Will Moser. I'm a prosecutor with the District Attorney's Office here, and I'm here to just talk to you real quick. I know my time is short, so I'm just going to dive in. I'm note crunching here a little bit. Just bear with me, okay? I just finished about a 4-year rotation in our sex crimes unit. Okay, and primarily what I dealt with was child sexual assaults. That's just what I did every day for about the past 4 years. Now, one probably thinks, right, you can imagine what it's like in that assignment, right? But you really can't until you're in it, right? Until you're every day listening, reading, dealing with the worst possible sexual acts happening to the most vulnerable sector of our populations, our children. Right? After being in the assignment, really makes you realize, makes you understand the importance of the work and the need for us to have committed, talented, and dedicated prosecutors doing this type of work. I was honored and blessed to do that type of work. I just finished a 3-month tilt of about 5 back-to-back child sexual assault trials over the holiday period. That's how I ended the assignment. We were blessed to be able to get justice for each of the victims in those cases. I'll be the first to tell you, though, the assignment wears on you. You think you're not taking it home. You're trying not to take it home. It's going home with you. And I'm not alone in that. There's an office full of people in my office dedicated to that type of work. And we got people in our office with heavier caseloads and doing heavier assignments. So we're sharing the load here. But it's a lot on our shoulders. But I do it, and I'm gonna keep doing it for the rest of my career here in Solano County in service to this county and the victims of this county, because it's what they deserve. I humbly ask you, the board, to do what's best for the victims in this county as well, by giving our prosecutors the equity raises that they need and that they deserve. Because as it stands now, there's multiple counties right, to the northwest and the west of us, right next door, our neighbors. They pay much more than us, and they're doing less work over there, and their caseloads are much less. Many of my colleagues in the past few years have gone to those counties: Napa, Marin, Contra Costa, Alameda, Santa Clara, San Francisco, San Mateo. They're right there. They're driving distance, and they're right next door. So what I ask the board and the chair to do is to keep an open mind, think about this through the appropriate lens. What's best for our victims and our community at large in service of justice? Because when you do that, when you look at it through that lens, what's more important? Giving our victims and our community the best chance at justice or saving the county money? The answer is obvious. It's doing what's best for the victims of the community. What's best for the victims of this community is making it so we can retain talent in the best way possible, retain and recruit the best talent. The way we do that is by making our office competitive in the salaries they give. So I ask you to please keep that in mind. I know my time's up. I appreciate you. Thank you.
Next speaker is Baltazar Dispo. If I'm saying that right, I apologize if I'm not. It looks like Baltazar? Am I wrong?
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It is humbly an honor to be speaking to this distinguished honorable supervisors, and I am a member of this SAU 2015 for more than 10 years. I started to be taking care of my wife. I was Alzheimer's. I am a retired physician, but not tired. I'm still working, and I'm working for the Bay Area petitioners, and I encountered many things. First is, Your Honor, please increase our pay, not only 50 cents, but make it $1. I am 90 years old, and I still like to do something good for this country. And at this very moment, I'm really honored to be here. I've been doing lots of works in the United States for the past 60 years. I encountered the homeless people. The other day, I was with them. I celebrated my 90th birthday with them in San Francisco. I joined them. We prayed with them. I prayed with them. I cried with them. They hugged with me. But those are very important moments in my life too. That's why I'm sharing to all of you that although I'm 90 years old, I keep on doing something, not for me, but for the rest of the world and for the rest of us. That's why I engage in praying. I still engage in healing, although I don't practice my medicine anymore, but I pray. I pray for all of you, friends. And my little sharing is that the other week, I called the mayor of Vallejo. If you can see the size, the building there in front, the size of the DMV, you can see the dirty words there. Trump, then kids. I wish all of you, brothers, especially the women. I have a mother, I have my children. I respected women, we have to respect. But whoever who wrote that, is I don't know. I called the mayor many times, still there. I called the owner of the property, still there. I called the attention of DMB, one of the employees.
Chair time.
He was very angry with our president. No, I told him, sir, we have to respect the seats. I have to respect the seats, especially the president who wants us to be great again. I'm a part of this society, ladies and gentlemen, so thank you very much.
Thank you. Next speaker is Ricky Estrada.
Okay. And good morning to the board. Good morning to the chair. Thank you very much for your time, for your attention this morning. So I'm a public defender. I am a public defender here in Solano County. I've been doing this since 2022 here. Not only am I a public defender, but I'm from Solano County, born and raised in Vallejo, in Beverly Hills. And growing up in my neighborhood, I could remember a lot of experiences. One of them, the first time I was ever approached by a police officer, 11 years old, coming back from the store, me and my friends. I was asked questions about whether or not I had anything in my pockets, what was in my pockets, whether or not I was in a gang, whether or not I had drugs on me. And I think about those experiences, and as I get older, in my neighborhood, I experience different things. I see mothers, fathers of friends of mine wrapped up in a criminal justice system. I see people triumph, emerge out of it, become union members, firefighters, all sorts of things. Didn't know it, but those experiences are what shaped my career choices. And I come here, and it's my dream job. And I think about those experiences, and I think about the work that the people in my office do every day, advising young folks who are just like me, 11 years old, getting stopped by the police officers on their way back from the store. That's stuff that our juvenile unit and our members do day in and day out. They advise people. They advise those people. Further, I think about my friends, their mothers, their fathers, brothers, sisters who emerged out of this system, who became firefighters, union members. And I see public defenders in my office help do those same things by making referrals to the social workers, getting the help that they need, seeing people as whole individuals, not just another case. And I started in 2022, and I came from Marin County, the public defender's office, and I saw my caseload go up double, almost triple. And I see the things, the amazing work that we can do, even with doing more work and getting paid less. And what we are asking is that you please give us a fair contract. We cannot go back, because if we go back to 2022, we're not going to be able to provide the exact same services we're serving now. Thank you.
Next speaker is Sayuri Takagawa.
Bearing with me. I'm almost there. Appreciate it.
I think you're moving pretty fast. So
Yeah,
you could slow
I'm
it
used to
down.
it now. Good morning, Madam Chair, members of the board, thank you for your time. My name is Sayuri Takagawa. I'm a deputy alternate public defender here in Solano County. I'm going to start with a quote I've gotten from a former chief of mine, from a federal case in Florida that goes, public defenders stand alone, armed only with their wits, training, and dedication, inspired by their clients' faith and trust. They are the warriors and Valkyries of those desperately in need of a champion. Public defenders, by protecting the downtrodden and poor, shield against infringements of our protection, and in reality, protects us all. And that's from Hightower v. State. This was given to me from a former chief in a different county who has experienced what this county has gone through, as my colleagues have said, a couple years ago. where caseloads exploded. We were crushed by such caseloads and demoralized by losing colleagues with years and decades of experiencing leaving. And those who are left to pick up the pieces, rebuilding, trying to rebuild. But the testament to this county's leadership is that Solano County has a history of dedicating and investing in our criminal justice system. And with that solid foundation, that produced zealous advocates who are proud to be champions for our clients because they are someone's child, loved ones, and community members of Solano County. And so with continued investment, we can continue to build on that strong foundation that was there before. And as my colleagues have said, we cannot go back because where that leaves us is to repeat those things again, to rebuild. And those who suffer most is our community members, is our community. So what I ask for is this continued investment of this solid foundation of the criminal justice system in Solano County that encompasses indigent defense. So we can continue to tell the community that they should be proud when they are appointed the public defender's office, that they have a zealous advocate behind their back, and they have that support in our community. So we look forward to continued opportunities to discuss next steps towards a fair contract. Thank you.
Next speaker is Marden Malik.
Good morning, members of the board. Thank you for your consideration. My name is Marden Malik. I'm an attorney from the Solano County Public Defender's Office, and I've been doing this for about 14 years. And I wanted to take a couple of moments to talk about some of the people in our community that are most vulnerable, and specifically those who suffer from mental illness. Chairwoman Brown, you in particular have worked tirelessly for this community. And you have advocated tirelessly for those who suffer from mental illness. It's work that you have been recognized by the judges that we appear in front of, and it's something that our clients have really benefited from. Public defenders are also at the forefront of that struggle, and me in particular consider it to be something that I consider very important to me. In my experience, having helped the people who suffer from mental illness, it's the look of the parents that always gets me. And there's always two different looks that I get. There's the look of desperation and fear when you first meet them, of not knowing what happened to their kid, being scared that they're gonna be killed, being scared that they're gonna end up in prison for the rest of their lives. And then there's the other look, the one that makes it all worth it, which is the look of a parent who thanks you through tears of joy and gratitude for bringing their kid back. And they don't mean physically, right? They mean the boy they remember, the girl that they remember. That work takes a lot. It takes skill and it takes experience. And 3 years ago, like my colleagues have mentioned, we almost lost that. And those are the individuals who fall through the cracks first. We need to make sure that our office is invested and that we're able to keep these attorneys so that these clients don't fall through the cracks, so that we can continue to get those second looks that justify and make okay the first ones that we get. You have spent your career standing up for these people. I ask you to stand up for them once more. Make sure that the Public Defender's Office doesn't lose the skill and experience that those people need in order to get put on a path of recovery and treatment and to be treated with the respect that they deserve so that they can be the productive members of society that we know that they can be, so they can go back to being the sons and the daughters and the mothers and the fathers and the brothers and the sisters that their family members remember them as. Thank you for your time.
I'm going to ask for grace on this one as well. My apologies. Costa Carastensis.
Thank you. Very good.
Was I even remotely close?
Yeah, you're very close, very close. That's as close to most people. So, good morning, board, and good morning, chair, and thank you for your time. My name is Costa Carastenzi. I work with the Unit 1 members that you've heard from today. Unit 1, which comprises of our Solano County District Attorneys and Public Defenders. You've heard today the good work that these unit members do and the vital role they play in our community. You've also heard their pleas to you about why we need to maintain proper wages so they can do that work and they can function well and their offices can function well. So we don't want to go back to losing attorneys, to having a low morale, to having doubling and tripling caseloads. We can't go back, and this unit won't go back. And the reason why we won't go back is because we need to fight for the community. So when we talk about proper wages, what do we mean? Well, we have given the board the data, and I'm going to try to recap it here. And again, in recapping this data, we're going to invite you again, each board member, to meet with our team, if you want, to go over these numbers and to go over the reasons why we need to keep up in our wages. Okay, we thank Supervisor Mashburn and Supervisor James for meeting with us before, and we invite you, all of you again, to meet with us. But looking at the numbers, what we have here is that we know that Unit 1 is 20% below the average wages for the Bay Area. Solano County is a Bay Area county, but we are 20% below the average, not the top, the average wages in Solano County. We are the bottom of the wages in the Bay Area. We also know when we look at the counties that matter most, the counties right around us, Sonoma, Napa, Contra Costa, Alameda, Marin, we are 14 to 15% below those wages. 14 to 15% below those wages. If we let that gap grow, we are just going to lose attorneys and lose resources for the community in Solano County. What we also know is that even with the studies that the county did and the agencies that the county thinks are the comparable agencies, we are 8% below the data. We are 8% below the average, not the highest part, not even on the upper end, 8% below the average. Again, these figures are all available for you to review. The other thing that we also know is that currently, with the offer that's on the table by the county, we are going to go backwards and we're going to face a perilous and dangerous situation for these two offices and for the community. The current offer is 6% over 3 years. But what we know is that all the counties around us and all the counties that even the Solano looks at are going to go up 12% over 3 years. This gap is going to increase, and we can't let that happen, and we can't go backwards. Thank you for your time.
The next speaker is Minerva Pena.
Good morning, Board of Supervisors and the audience here. My name is Minerva Pena, and I am here. Hold on, need my glasses. And I'm a constituent of your Supervisor Williams district. I have been an in-home service provider for 6 years, and I'm a proud member of Local 2015 bargaining team. I take care of my daughter with special needs. For more than 7,000 families across Solano, the in-home service provider program is a critical resource that allow our loved ones to receive essential long-term care in the comfort, safety, and their own homes in our community, instead of having them to move into a nursing home. Raising the in-home service wage helps ensure every Solano resident can access the care that they need, and the in-home service workers providing the care that can afford the cost of living. Every $1 you all choose to contribute to caregiver wages bring 86 cents back to Solano County from state and federal funding sources. For example, if we all accept our union's most recent proposal for wage increases, our county will receive more than $12 million in state and federal funding over the next 3 years. This is money that will all go into the pockets of hardworking in-home service provider, which will continue to stimulate our county's economy. The positive economic impacts of our most recent proposal will also generate more than $4 million new dollars in our local economy due to the increase of in-home service worker spending. Our community is stronger when our families have the resource we need to thrive, including access to essential in-home care. You all have the power to make that happen by paying in-home service workers a wage that reflects the value of our job. So it's been about 8 months doing our bargaining, and we don't see any changes. 50 cents, it's an offense to us and to all of our care members here. So this is my 5th time also doing a speech, and I feel like I mean, we're really offended for what is happening right now. We haven't seen any changes, and Solano County is not it's an expensive county, and Napa County makes $20.50, so we're making $18.10, and also Yolo County makes $19.05, and we want to find out what is the reason why we're not getting a bigger pay raise. 50 cents is not enough,
Time.
and we're only making $18.10. Thank you so much.
The last speaker is Joseph Joyce.
Madam Chair and Supervisors, originally I picked a topic because I wanted to speak and congratulate the Ag Week and talk about some of the events that we planned for the fair, the fairgrounds. You know, we have the animals thing, but we have a big opportunity with the land that we now control and have some freedom on. With the opportunity with Food is Free and the others to open up some land to do some agricultural and planting some seeds and expanding that in a community garden way. We've been talking about that for several years, but my promise to the board is that next year we will have a community garden there in some sort, some fashion. It's going to take some support from the community. We have several groups that are interested. I'm hoping that we get the buy-in with the Farm Bureau, but it will open us up to a lot more of the community grants that are available to us in the ag. Much like the old fisherman's tale, if we teach somebody to fish, we feed them for a lifetime. And that's what we're going to do. The communities surrounding the fairgrounds are in great need. Tuesdays and Thursdays, the lines around the McCormick Hall are great for the Food is Free program. That's a wonderful program. If everybody's ever had the opportunity to see what Food is Free is, it used to be Food is Free Solano. It's now expanded throughout the Bay Area. And we're proud to host it. We're going to see if we can actually increase that with some fresh vegetables and support the community. But Ag Day is a wonderful day. The fairgrounds has done that for quite a while with our animals programs at the fair, our junior livestock program. We got away from the agricultural part. And again, the Dixon Mayfair does a great job with that agricultural and the farming. But Solano County Fairgrounds will be back with an ag program. So there'll be plots available for the community to farm again. So I just wanted to say that. And it was an opportunity with the ag there. So good job, and I appreciate the recognition of the farmers.
That is all our speakers. I have no callers on the line.
Okay, great, thank you. Okay. Okay. Are there any additions or deletions to today's agenda?
No, Chair. No additions or deletions.
Thank you for having that not happening. I appreciate that. All right, so I need approval of the agenda, please.
So ordered by a vote of 4-0.
Are there any members, well, first off, is there any public comment on the consent calendar?
I have no cards for consent calendar and no callers on the line.
Okay. And are there any board members that want to speak or pull anything on the consent calendar? Oh, okay.
I just want to speak on one real quick. I don't want to pull it. I just want to say thank you to Medic Ambulance for being willing to extend the contract for yet again, so that we can get through this process and get through our bid process, and also for the addition of the franchise fee. Thank you.
Any other supervisor wish to speak on consent or anything? Okay, seeing none. And, beg your pardon?
She's moving the consent.
Oh, okay, I didn't hear what you said. Okay, so, all right. So it's been properly moved, but now I need a, we had a second over here. Okay, okay. All right, that's fine, all right. We just vote, everybody thinks good, no one's complaining that they didn't get a chance. Okay, life is good.
Ordered by a vote of 4-0.
Okay, all right, so. Yeah, we're gonna get there. All right, so now we are going to adjourn as the Board of Supervisors and convene as the Vacaville Fire Protection District. And I'm supposed to use a gavel and not be mean to my colleague. So, are there any public comments on the special district consent calendar?
No callers and no cards.
Okay. Does anybody want to speak on any item that's on the special district's consent calendar? Oh, that was a good sound. I heard crickets. Okay, we're good. Okay. It's been properly moved and seconded.
Okay. Ordered by a vote of 4-0.
All right. So, yeah, is there? Oh, I have, am I ending? Okay, I'm not even, I'm trying to read and, okay, so we're done. And now we get to come back as being the Board of Supervisors. Okay, so I'm going down through, okay, sorry guys. All right, so Madam Clerk, can you read item number 12, please?
Conduct a notice public hearing to consider the adoption of a resolution approving traffic order 438, establishing a 7-ton load limit restriction for commercial trucks on Boyce Road, Burns Road, Gadini Road, Halley Road, Hawkins Road, Lake Herman Road, Maple Road, North Meridian Road, Pitt School Road, Poplar Road, Puta Creek Road, Severs Road, Stevenson Bridge Road, Sweeney Road, Walnut Road, Weber Road, Willow Road, and Wolfskill Road.
So in front of me for the staff presentation, since it's roads, there's Matt right there, so we're good.
Yep.
And James, thank you guys. Before I open the public hearing, are there any questions? No, they have to do the presentation. Okay, sorry. There was no football last night, I'm just, okay. Okay.
All right, morning. James Music, Director, Resource Management. With me is Matt Tuggle, Assistant Director, and he's going to lead the presentation.
Yeah, good morning. Matt Tuggle, Assistant Director. This item's a long time in coming, so we're excited to actually deliver it. Traffic order 438, let's see. So a little background on this traffic order. So we kind of over the past 5 years saw quite a bit of truck traffic start to leave the freeways and the state highways and use our roads. And they do so because they can save a little bit of gas, a little bit of time, cost to them. This has been happening for about a decade, really, but we saw it more acutely in more recent years. And we see that because the freeway reloaded after the pandemic, and once the freeway gets busy, then our roads sometimes become the shortest routes. So the problem here is that the county's roads are not built for this. At least many of the county's roads are not built for it. They don't have the width, they don't have the structure sections, so we have quite a bit of resulting pavement damage. And you'll see that on the roads that get heavily traveled. We have cracking, rutting, and then just general life cycle loss. We have safety issues, the large trucks on the roads, and that's where some of the complaints come in, where large trucks are, they're going to win. I guess I'll say if there's an accident, they always win, from what I've seen. And for us, we don't want those trucks on narrow roads. There's just not enough width. And then the complaints that get generated from the residents and cyclists, those have been kind of ongoing, like I said, for about a decade, but more acute in the last few years. And then it includes our operations crews, because those are the guys that are out there filling the potholes, and then they start to see that accelerated damage on the roads. Heavy trucking on a road can turn it over in a year or two. I mean, we can see heavy damage happen quickly. So what I'd say is, this is something that we started to really focus on, not really understanding how quickly our pavements could become damaged by these off-roading trucks. And I will note also we had some contributing factors. We have new distribution centers that are popping up, I-505 and Midway Road, for instance. We have quite a bit of aggregate hauling. The good news is there's been some cool development going on in the county and new homes. But the aggregate hauling towards Benicia and Dixon in particular are hitting some of those roads. And then just generally that congestion that I mentioned on 80 and 505, that's where you start to see the traffic off route. So what we do is we start engineering review. It's our requirement. We have to do engineering and traffic surveys if we do want to put a load limit on a road. And we've done pavement damage surveys, accident data review, roadway evaluations, just basically looking at the basic geometry of the road, heights, widths, curvature, that kind of stuff. So the engineers went to work. On July 22nd, the board established formal truck routes within the Solano County Road Improvement Standards. That was actually a requirement of the state that happened, which is a good requirement. What it does is it forces us to say, what are our legal truck routes? Where do we want the trucks to go? And once you establish that, then you start looking off those roads and going, okay, where do we not want trucks to go? So what it does is that provided the trucks and businesses their preferred options, or our preferred options, to off route from the interstates, because we still want to, we want that economic development. We want trucks to have, safe, legal routes, and then we want to also be able to focus our investment in those locations so that the pavement's, strong enough, the roads are wide enough. So load limits on the non-truck routes, what we also call shortcut routes. What that will do is it will reduce our pavement damage by funneling the trucks to the routes that can handle the heavier weights and best to stay on the interstates, the freeways, and the state highways. It will reduce some of the significant accidents that we have had. Not many, but what I would continue to say is the trucks win in those accidents, and we don't want that to happen. So we can get these trucks on roads that are geometrically sized for them. And then it provides California Highway Patrol also the means to better enforce these things. They have been a good partner in past decades. They kind of went quiet. I think they struggled with enforcement during the pandemic. They had staffing issues. They've been better recently, and I think some of you may have heard those complaints, because when they start to enforce, folks will start to call and say, hey, I'm getting hit by California Highway Patrol on my normal route home. And what I will say is, on every load limit sign, we're going to have ag trucks exempt. We've already had that, and ag trucks are exempt. If a truck also has a manifest to a location, that's a legal right to go access a location because they're dropping a load off. Those are things that the CHP will not ticket. But random trucks driving around in the county's roads, they'll get hit. Sometimes it is that these commercial properties have had, what I'll say that I'm aware of, a few tickets that they've complained about. I think that the CHP has fixed that mostly. I think they did have a couple of tickets that came to us that we said, oh, that's a little tough on that business. I can do a little easier. But for most of this stuff, I think we do want aggressive enforcement. We've been begging for that. If we don't get that, then our roads, I mean, we're talking about multi-million dollars of damage to these roads very quickly. So the roads, we have basically one of our primary locations that really got a lot of attention is the Winters to Dixon routes. Dixon having quite a bit of new development going on. The aggregate haulers are the primary issue along these routes. You know, they know that 505 down to 80 and then back up to Dixon is a longer route, and it also gets congested. So these routes became the shorter routes, and we had quite a bit of damage on Severs Road, for instance. It's been a regular fixed road for our operations crews. And just generally, you look at, you know, Boyce and Gadini and Wolfskill. If you've driven those roads, those are very narrow roads. Those are not built for trucks at all. So these were the routes, at least in the North County, that we wanted to focus our load limits on. I will say it's a little bit of chasing your tail because you'll load limit some roads and then the trucks will find others. We think we got most of the roads through an iterative approach to trying to figure out, you know, if we hit these roads, can we keep the trucks mostly on the interstate? We think we can, at least in this location. Then we look at the kind of the mid and South County routes. A regular location of complaint we call the tree streets, which is Maple, Walnut, Poplar, and Willow off of Leisuretowne Road. And that kind of leads into the backside of Kilkenny, out to Burns, out to 80. If you know anyone in an afternoon is on 80 going through Vacaville, you'll notice that backup at Leisuretowne. What that does is that pushes just generally vehicles off routing and also trucks that started to go through these neighborhoods. These are very residential areas, so we want to get that focused. And then just generally the kind of the Burns, Hawkins, Pitt School, and Weber. Those roads have had quite a bit of truck damage over the last 5 years. So that's what put that on our radar. And interestingly, that's kind of an east-west approach if you actually follow those routes, because we started to follow these trucks. The trucks coming in from Highway 113 and Highway 12 east of Solano County, they'll follow this route over to 80. This is sometimes the better route. I will note more specifically, Lake Herman Road was a noticed road. We actually had a load limit on it. It was a very old load limit, so old that we could not actually find the records for it. It was posted that way. We wanted to refresh Lake Herman Road just to make sure that that back route that the city of Benicia has complained about also is enforceable. Public outreach and input. So we received quite a bit of input. It's been, I would say, the last 2 years we've seen an accelerated amount of public input on this. Certainly the residents along the Winters-Dixon routes that I noticed, the East Leisuretowne area, and then City of Benicia, because those trucks that go out of the Lake Herman Quarry, when they go out Lake Herman Road, they sometimes go down River Road, I think, and they end up in the middle of the city, and there's been some confusion through that. Also, we've gotten quite a bit of input from the Bicycle Advisory Committee, which has been, they've been complaining for more than a decade. I've been going to those meetings for quite a while, and they see it as any of those narrow roads, they don't want to be a loser against a truck. And I would say, just being frank, there's been a couple or a few through the last decade. What we did do is we provided public notice on the hearing. It's a very long notice requirement for load limits. Fair enough. You want to provide the community, the businesses, the trucks, a right to go ahead and be appropriately noticed before we put an enforcement action into play. We did publish in the newspapers, and we solicited the response from California Highway Patrol. We're required to do that. They had no comment on our road list. We've had to bug them several times, but just generally, I think, you know, once we put these enforcement or at least these signs in action, then CHP has been biting recently, and that's been great. We've been, again, begging for enforcement. We're finally getting it. What I do want to say is that we did, my staff hustled really hard to come up with this list of 18 roads, and then their manager put it in as 14. So the notice that went out last week, at least for the title of the item, was 14 roads. And though we did do the full noticing for the 18 roads countywide, and if the manager had put in all 18, it would have been fixed. But here I am, collecting up that all 18 roads have been formally and properly noticed. So what we'd like to do, conduct a public hearing. Hopefully we get to establish the 7-ton load limit on these roads. That is the standard load limit in the California Vehicle Code. And then that would include adopting the resolution of to approve traffic order 438. That includes the 18 roads that were noted. With that ends my presentation.
So before I go to the staff public comments or whatever, here's my concern right now. Are we going to be, especially when the new truck scale goes in, I'm thinking on my side of the world over here, are we going to have any signs up that lets me, a consumer, know I should be calling the highway patrol because there's a truck here that shouldn't be? Or is there going to be any kind of notice that the truck drivers are okay on this road or not okay on this road? I'm just trying to figure out, because I see a lot of people that'll be skipping because they don't want to have to pay on the truck scale.
So the Sassoon Valley has load limits that were legally established. That's why that's not on the list. Those will remain. I think for what I will say is the Midway Road load limit, we had complaints that were coming in, and the CHP reacted to businesses that should not have been ticketed, in my opinion. They had a legal right to access their property. So I think we're going to continue what we're going to have to do is just continue to kind of feel this one out. For those that have been complaining for the last couple of years, to help us on that selection, I know that they're going to celebrate this item passing because they're looking forward to it. And we'll probably, where those limits exist, complaint is part of that process to get not only us activated, but also CHP to focus on, if you're skipping the scales, then CHP is going to, frankly, in those situations, they tend to love our load limits. And they asked us about a decade ago to establish the Sassoon Valley ones.
Okay.
Because they didn't,
Yeah.
trucks go over the scales, right?
Yep. Yep. Oh.
Yeah, so each road will have a load limit sign at each extent. So it basically says no trucks over 7 tons, and it includes a placard that says ag trucks exempt, every sign. That way we don't end up with confusion.
Oh, all right.
So on the new roads, that's how the public and the truck drivers will know not to go on those roads. And I think that's more of what you were looking for.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, because when I'm thinking, with Lake Herman, they've done some work a little bit, but there's a lot of, anyway, and especially as the new Costco goes in and some other things happening over, so that's what okay. Yeah. So Supervisor Williams.
Thank you, Chair Brown. First and foremost, I want to thank Resource Management for actually putting in these load limits for the roads for these trucks. I know how damaging they can truly be, and then you add rain and other natural factors. It helps to erode, the roads even more. Once we go through the public hearing process, and once the 60 days have gone by, and it'll come, we approve. My question is this: how soon will the new signage actually be installed so that trucks know? And do we send any type of notices out to, certain agencies or businesses that we know that are local and utilizing those roads all the time?
Yeah, we similarly had something with we did change some speed limits a couple of years back, and the question is well, when does it become active? Once a traffic order is signed, it's effectively enforceable. It's not signed, so it's still, everyone would have an out if they got a ticket on a road that had no signage for it. What we do is we start planning how those signs will go in, probably take about a month. Interestingly, we have to put them on order, so That might take a couple of weeks. My guess is, if I had to guess, probably about 2 months to get all the signs in. And through that process, we do I'll say, light outreach, not as formal as we do as to establish it, but we do let folks know. We let the CHP know, of course. We want them to start the process. But and then we usually, when we did the speed limits, we got a lot of, as soon as the signs start popping up, the phones start ringing about, when did this happen? What does this mean? So we normally have kind of that burst of questions about how this got established from those who don't know. So, I mean, if there is a process, I know because there's no changes to like Sassoon Valley or but maybe the Farm Bureau, we could do some outreach to the Farm Bureau and let them know, because they're actually pretty good about broadcasting to the farm community. And if there's any other requests, we could do that as well. I think I'm not sure that we've done any Facebook broadcasts, but we could look into that maybe through the sheriff's office just to let them know. Sheriff's office, of course, doesn't do the traffic enforcement necessarily, but they've been pretty conciliatory through any of our requests for stuff.
So will it, for the truck scales, will that information be provided to them from our truck scales? Because I know they were supposed to stop.
Yeah.
Could wait. That would be really beneficial so that we can say we did our due diligence as a county, making sure that local businesses and those coming through our county understands these are our new, once adopted, that these will become our new rules that we want you to follow. And then my last question, and that is in reference to, and I'm thankful that our agricultural, the trucks that are helping our ag are exempt, but I wanted to know, because even though they're exempt, they still have big, heavy haulers, right? Especially if there's tomatoes and, different things. So how frequently are we doing like Sterling seals and helping to maintain the roads, even though we're exempting some of these larger trucks, but when we have our ag working in those spaces, how are we able to continue to maintain our roads?
Well, we had, I think because, why I'm here on this item is we had a series of roads, and I'll use Severs Road, Weber Road, Pitt School Road, they all had accelerated damage, and those do serve, those are primary, they're ag roads. I don't know what else to say. So, what we want to do is those cut-through routes, we identified that deeper rutting that's caused by truck axles. And what our road crews can do is we get out there and crack seal right away. We try to get those cracks. But just generally, we're switching gears. We got into some deeper, more complex projects as far as curve realignments and that kind of stuff. We're going to go back to some basic maintenance over the next couple of years. I think the roads took a beating a lot faster than we anticipated. So what you'll see is you'll see a lot of just back to the light surface treatment that we did before.
Just to keep it maintained. All right. I just asked that because I currently live on one of the worst streets in Sassoon City. So I do understand the complexities when you have heavy trucks moving on roads and how they expand and contract and, everything. But anyway, thank you for that update. I'm glad to hear that we're taking these steps and moving forward.
For clarity,
Yes.
so we fulfilled our 60 days today. And so by adopting today, if you choose to adopt, then they go into effect. And I think that's what Matt was sort of saying, is that legally we can enforce them today. The signages aren't up, so there'll probably be some disputes. Our ramp up is the next 1 to 2 months to get the signage up, and then we'll be in full force.
Okay.
All right. Thank you.
All right, so it appears that I'm okay from the members of the board. So I'm going to take and open up the public hearing. This is an opportunity for the members of the public to comment on the proposed traffic order establishing load limits. Madam Clerk, have there been any cards submitted, or are there any callers on the phone that wish to speak?
Ma'am, I have no callers on the line, and I have no cards submitted.
Okay, so we're going to do this quickly before anybody says anything. I'm now going to close the public hearing. So anyway, yeah, that's fine. Are there That's answering the question that's coming up. Are there any additional questions from the board?
Yes, Mr. Tuggle, I just had some questions about some of the roads over on the eastern side of the county and Rio Vista area, why they weren't included on this list, and what's the probability of getting them included in an ordinance at some point, specifically McCormick, as that's now a thoroughfare for trucks coming and trying to avoid the traffic that's on 12 in Rio Vista, because now that has been moved, the shop project's been put off. And now they're looking at not doing the improvements on Highway 12 until 2029. It's going to be an issue. All the Amazon trucks coming through. As you know very well, part of McCormick is still gravel.
Yep.
And in the wintertime, that turns into a mess when you put 18-wheelers down it. So is there any probability or possibility of another ordinance coming forward making more of our county roads inaccessible to large vehicles?
So the answer is yes. And I think from the staff, kind of our staff analysis, we wanted to do the roads that we knew are actively being used by trucks regularly. McCormick is an interesting one. And I'll say, can I say it's tricky for right now? Because we still have to complete the Phase 3 section, which is the gravel portion that's out to Highway 113. And McCormick, the state has asked us to allow it to be a reliever for traffic generally from 12. They have no other option if there's an accident on 12 than to reroute to McCormick on the north, or if it's so bad, or depending on the situation, they have rerouted to the south, some of the southern sets of roads, which is just an absolute mess of a detour. I think when McCormick, the thing that we're going to do is, I'll say we were kind of holding our breath for Caltrans, trying to figure out what Caltrans was going to do. It's unfortunate to hear that they're pushing out the SHOP program, because as we all know, those of us that drive Highway 113, and I do regularly, and complain about it because my boat motor was also almost knocked off my boat hitting one of those potholes out there. That it's in such disrepair, it needs attention. Now McCormick, the goal was to maybe pair the Phase 3 McCormick into 113 at the time that project was going to happen. I think we're done holding our breath. The only thing is now we got to figure out how we're going to basically fund that last bit, because it is an expensive piece and it has to tie into 113. McCormick is getting a regular off route of traffic. Anytime 12 has an accident or backs up, it is a reliever. So what I would say is McCormick's tricky because by intent it might need to actually perform a truck route function, but until it's actually built, we don't want to designate it one way or the other. And if the city of Rio Vista is experiencing too much truck routing through their city, and I have heard complaints, then maybe we just end up load limiting it for a while until we figure out what its long-term goal is. So is that a tricky answer? It comes with a variety of alternatives, doesn't it? But I think there's going to be a goal here to make McCormick what it really needs to be, either a truck route or none at all.
It does answer the question, but then it also begs to why we aren't asking the state of California if we are benefiting them and our road is benefiting them as an alternate to their highway, then they need to kick in a little bit of dough to help us finish out McCormick Road. That would just be my...
I'll put my hand out. I'm ready.
Something we can work on together.
Yeah.
All right, thank you.
That's funny. Okay. Are there any other questions? Nobody? All right. So I need a motion, please.
Second.
Okay.
Wonder Twin.
I think I heard stereo
We
there.
need like a start-stop clock.
All right. Properly moved and seconded. Let's vote, please. That was funny.
All right, thank you.
So ordered by a vote of 4-0.
Thank you very much. Cheers.
Okay. Thank you, guys.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, 2, County Council, are we going to report out after this closed session?
No, Chair, we will not.
So board members, since we will not be coming back, because we don't, let me phrase it better. We don't have to come back out and report. There we go. So if I could have the board members if they would like to speak at the end, because we are almost at the end. Therefore, if a board member has anything that they wish to say, now's the time. It's, okay. You know what, I got to where I was just reading this. So nothing, so we'll just move our way through.
Okay, I just have a little update. Thank you.
We're going to hold you to the word little.
A little, it is a little. Oh, maybe turn it on without. To speed it up. Well, I had the honor and privilege on Saturday, March 7th, to attend the Family Justice Center Solano Denim and Diamond fundraising gala. And I can tell you this, Solano County came out in force. And we had a great time. I enjoyed getting all get-seed up with our denim and sparklies. So it was really nice. Our sheriff's department, which I didn't know, they actually barbecue the food. So I just had to give them a shout out for a great barbecue and for their dedication and commitment. And then Dean and I had a battle of who was going to win the bid on the pound cake. He beat me, but he was gracious enough to give me a slice. But it was really nice being in that space, helping our Family Justice Center and raising money for them. And then I met their brand new executive director, Visa French. Yes, very, very pleasant, very nice person. I look forward to connecting with her soon in the future. But if you didn't go, make sure you get your ticket next year. Show up. Let's have a good time. Pull out some of those rhinestone cowboy hats and denim jackets, and let's do something that's really good for this community and helping our Family Justice Center help our community at large. Thank you.
Mitch, anything? Okay. So I always love to attend the community college crab feed. Tons of people. If you've been in the Commons was crowded. In my car, I have what I won, but which is a gorgeous picture. But my fear was that if I brought it in here, somebody would think I might be donating it to the county, and I'm not. But anyway, we had a lot of fun. It's always a lot of fun to see everybody, and the need is great, obviously, to take care of our kids that are going and improving their lives, just as we had the conversation today. So Solano County, you did it again. Community College, love you. So, Madam Clerk, are there any cards submitted or anybody on the call for item number 13? And if not, would you go through and just read the title?
There are no callers and no cards. Conference with labor negotiators pursuant to Government Code Section 54957.6, Solano County representatives and employee organizations as listed in the agenda, and conference with labor negotiators pursuant to Government Code Section 54957.6, In-Home Supportive Services Authority representatives and employee organization as listed in the agenda. And just a public service announcement. For anyone listening, there are a set of keys that were left outside of the board chambers, and they are currently with the security desk.
And if they never come and get it, can we sell whatever it is? I'm just teasing.
I believe it works.
It can't work. All right. Since we will not be having any action after the closed session, we're adjourning the meeting. Okay. We're good? Okay. All right. We do not meet again until March 24th, 2026 at 9 a.m. And I'm to use the grab. You've been really good. I haven't done it. So we are adjourned until Tuesday, the 24th of March.